Who's here? Good morning, colleagues. Thank you guys for showing up today. I know you could be anywhere, but you chose to be here, and I appreciate that. So we're going to start with our voting. Well, some of these people choose not to be here half the time, so they know who I'm talking. Trying to get these guys at a hearing, right? So I'm just grateful we have an entire, we're complete. We have the entire group here. So now you've seen that seat fill. All right. We're going to start with House Bill number 1. Erica, if you please, Erica. Erica.
There we go.
If you please.
House Bill 1 establishes the pain care program in Maryland, E&T. The primary committee passed the bill favorable.
Favorable.
Any discussion on the bill? Yes, sir.
What was the vote in ENT?
Because I'm not familiar with the parties on the committee,
Just to count.
it was 16 in favorable, 6 against.
Any further discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Mr. Vice Chair, you ready?
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier-Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Arentz. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampry. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. And Delegate Queen. Outstanding. Bill passes. Next bill, please. House Bill 211.
House Bill 211 prohibits a person from serving as a broker between a contractor and a subcontractor in the state for up to 5 years after being convicted of an offense constituting criminal malfeasance, misfeasance, or nonfeasance.
Bill. Seeing none. Mr. Vice Chair.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier-Hidalgo.
Aye.
Delegate Adams. Delegate Arentz. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampry. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Delegate Rose, did you have something to say? All right, we don't do this often. I got you. All right, bill passes. Favorable. Your vote made a difference. I'm just playing. I'm just messing with you. All right, next is House Bill 223. Delegate Queen, I know we had a conversation. Are you comfortable? Outstanding.
House Bill 223 exempts mortgage loans made by community development financial institutions from the statutory requirements to verify a borrower's ability to repay the loan.
On the bill, any discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Vice Chair.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Aye. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier-Hidalgo.
Aye.
Delegate Adams. Delegate Arentz. Okay. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Thank you. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampry. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. God. Oh, God. And Delegate Queen. Bill passes. Next bill, please.
House Bill 271 requires a limited liability.
We're gonna hold this bill. Seth, just bring the head back. All right, thank you. Next bill, 361. It's withdrawn, apologize. Thank you.
Who's unfavorable, withdrawn, consent calendar, House Bill 361.
All in favor of the consent calendar, say aye. Any opposed? All right, so this bill is now withdrawn. Next is House Bill 239 or 391, jeez.
House Bill 391 amends the Vestry Act so that all Protestant Episcopal churches in Maryland have the same corporate status.
Favorable.
Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Delegate Crosby,
Aye.
Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo, Delegate Howard, Delegate Charkoudian, Delegate Rose, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chi, Delegate Frazier Odago, Delegate Adams, Delegate Aaron's, Delegate Pippi, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Ampery, Delegate Weigel. What'd you say, bud? Oh, Delegate Fisher. Of course. Delegate Queen. All right, bill passes. Isn't he? All right. Next bill, we have House Bill 611.
House Bill 611 repeals the Electronic Transactions Protections Act.
Move favorable.
Discussion on the bill. Seeing none, Delegate Crosby, Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo, Delegate Howard, Delegate Charkoudian, Delegate Rose. No. Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chi, Delegate Frazier Odago, Delegate Adams, Delegate Aaron's, Delegate Pippi, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Ampery, Delegate Weigel, Delegate Fisher, Delegate Queen. We're good, right? Okay. All right, bill passes. Next bill is House Bill 622.
House Bill 622 prohibits consumer reporting agencies from including in a consumer report certain records relating to a criminal proceeding involving a consumer and prohibiting consumer reporting agencies from relying on information in certain criminal proceedings concerning the consumer to make a determination of the credit worthiness.
Favorable.
Any discussion on the bill, please?
Question, this bill, what's the time frame on this? How far out do we go?
How far back?
Yeah, back out.
To be clear, I believe we removed quite a bit of, is there a time limit for the null process? I don't think we
No,
moved that because that whole section of the bill, remember there was a lot more to it and we got rid of all that. Now it's just for things that have been adjudicated, not guilty, null pros. They've thrown the case out. There is no guilty verdicts. Before it was, they couldn't go back after 7 years on certain offenses that you were found guilty of, but we got rid of that. So the only thing that now they just can't include things that you were actually found not guilty for, that, the case was thrown out. There was null pros, not even a probation for judgment.
Okay, we removed the time, like that's from today on. We can't have anything from today. Meaning if that came into me today, I can't make a judgment on what I see today that has been on criminal report. Or is that
Are you asking, is it
70
retroactive?
Yeah.
like for thing, yeah, it's retroactive. So if they can do your credit, look in your credit right now and this bill is to pass, then they can't judge you or hold it against you if you had a null pros, if you just had an arrest, if you just had a not guilty verdict.
But I'm saying there's no time frame on it. I thought it was 7 years out.
The 7 years is because we had some guilty findings that they wanted to say after 7 years, those guilty findings shouldn't count. But we took those out. So if you're found guilty of anything, that can still be used against you. It can be held, you know,
That'll still be on the record and I can
Yep,
still
yep.
view it. I'm fine, thank you.
I was right? Just vamping.
Yeah, it's so. To add some more context, it is if you were falsely accused, acquitted, exonerated, if there was a no prize or something that did not result in a guilty verdict or a guilty plea.
Good. Go ahead, Pippi.
Yeah, I mean, I said it in the committee. So my thing is there's a big difference between a not guilty and falsely accused and other things and like a null pros. You know what I mean?
Is there?
I think there is.
Whenever I go to court and they fill the case out, it's always an all pros.
So my thing is like, look, if you had an individual that, let's say, had several charges of like domestic violence and the spouse, for whatever reason, decided once they got there that she was no longer gonna, you know, but you see a pattern of behavior, you know what I mean?
Again, but we're also having, and I'm just saying, and you do your thing on the bill, but make sure there's no confusion because our justice system is set up this way that if you're just accused of something and you have not been adjudicated guilty in a court, you're not supposed to hold it against you. It doesn't stop you from, it shouldn't stop you from getting a vote, from getting a job. So I understand your point, but to the detriment of an individual who just happened to get arrested and charged with a crime because he was around the wrong place and they later throw it out, they call that an all pros.
Yeah.
I've never had a case where I've never had a case dismissed in 20 some odd years. It's always been an all pros or not guilty. Or an acquittal.
I mean, you're a criminal defense attorney. I mean, I know that, you know, when your clients are charged with 4 different things, 3 of them get null pros, and then they usually are found guilty of the one. So, you know, in my eyes, the not guilty of falsely accused, like if this bill was only those things, I'd vote yes. But because of the null pros, I'm going to vote.
So hopefully, you know, when our presidential candidates, whether it's guilty or not, they're still going to be held guilty, right? Cases are thrown out.
Hey, Charles County for Trump, man. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you.
But so does anybody else have any questions? Okay, guys. Mr. Vice Chair,
Aye.
Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo, Delegate Howard. Promise you, we got, there was a bunch of other discussions about crimes that were charged and they were convicted of. That's why we had the 7-year rule. We got rid of all that. It's for things that you were not adjudicated in any way what we consider negative. A null pros, if you're arrested for something and you're not guilty and the prosecutor sees it, they can throw it out. That's what a null pros is. It's not a probation before judgment. Those are not included in this. So, yeah, PBJs, like that's where you plead guilty and then they strike that guilty finding. Yeah. And the stat is very similar to throwing it out. Well, they'll say, you know what, we're not going to move on this case, but you know, if something happens within 6 months, they do it sometimes for DV cases. Like, you know what, we don't have the evidence. It doesn't look very strong. So if you stay good for the next 6 months or next year, it comes off, and that would actually comes off the stat docket in their null pros. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Arentz. Delegate Pippi. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampery. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. And Delegate Queen. I believe that concludes our bills today, guys. I want to say, please remember, we have alcohol at 6. I mean,
No. 6 a.m.
That's the drinks.
we have alcohol hearings Monday at 1 o'clock.
And it's full committee.
Is it 1 or 1:30? It's 1 o'clock alcohol at full committee. Okay, guys. Lunch will be provided. And oh yes, and for all my subcommittee chairs, if you have a bill, be prepared for it to be on the floor on Tuesday. So be ready, get your folders. For the villains in the room, make sure if there's any issues you have or you think it's gonna be, let us know if you can, okay? Thank you, guys.